Hi everybody, good morning. This is Jean here, Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for You. I hope you're all doing well. We've come off of a fairly busy weekend, but I'll get to that in a moment. I'm just going to take a few minutes right now to share with you a critique that I had received about my two quilts that I had put into a quilt show last weekend. The Pennsylvania National Quilt Extravaganza. I was saying that I would share this critique with you. I had put two quilts in, my embroidered critters and my spring snowflakes, and I got judged, as it were. I think I'll put the pictures up here. My embroidered critters quilt. It was a traditional quilt in the traditional quilt category, and the judging or the critique is from E excellent, V very good, G good, S satisfactory, and needs improvement, and A. So for the design, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. 1, artistic impression. 2, use of pattern and design, use of color and fabric, degree of difficulty, quilting design, innovation, and creativity. I got an E on each one of them. Excellent. I'm so thrilled. For the design, the workmanship, I got an E for the piecing and the applique, which means precision, stitches, and shadow through. The quilting technique, I got a V, which is very good. Even stitches, marking, stops and starts. Now that's what I was sort of asked to work on for my quilting. Yeah, that makes sense. My G, good. My finishing, borders, edges, my binding was just good. And I thought my binding was really good because it was all those silly scallops. But I knew because it should have been hand stitched, right? Well, I'm not going to stand there and hand stitch and all that. But they did say with the additional comments, this is so kind, nice scalloped border, but the inner curves should be mitered. 10 million inner curves, right? Ain't nobody got time for that. The hand embroidered work was well done. Oh, thank you very much. And the use of different quilting motifs were well selected. Remember, I did my circles and my little things. So all in all, I'm really quite pleased. I'm really quite pleased. Please note, the best of show is a collaboration of all the quilt judges. The quilt that you have submitted is the work of your talents, and you are the final judge of your own quilt. It has been a pleasure to see your quilt. And 2 judges have signed this critique. So by them saying you are the final judge of your own quilt, I should have won a ribbon. I should have won the best of show 20,000 times over. Nah. No, they know what they're talking about. And it's true. My stops and starts, although I thought I did pretty good on my quilting, but they can see the minute details. So, but all in all, I got lots and lots of E's. Excellent. Thank you so very much, you two people. Now for my spring snowflakes, my applique quilt here. Again, it was in the traditional quilt category for artistic impression, use of design and pattern, use of color and fabric, degree of difficulty, and innovation and creativity. I got an E. Excellent. Now in that design category, there's quilting design. I got a G. It was just sufficient. My quilting design is sufficient. I guess because it was a quilt as you go, and all I did was echo stitch the actual snowflake motif. So that was just sufficient. Okay. Workmanship. I got a G for piecing and applique. It was not precise. I did not match points. I got a G for my quilting technique. Again, stops and starts. Now this is where I disagree. There were loose threads on the back. No, there weren't. Unless you, I guess they did, unless you consider a tiny, tiny little thread that I I mean, a minute, 1/100th of an inch that I couldn't get right to the fabric. But there were no loose threads, you know, hanging threads off the back. So, and then I got a V, very good, on finishing. The additional comments were: strive to keep your quilting line straight and even. The border treatment was well done. Well, that's good. Interesting finish to the back of the quilt. Noted and appreciated. So the back of the quilt was the same. Was a different. Was the same fabric as was a different fabric than the front of the quilt, and it made sort of a patchwork design. The quilt should be squared before binding. Now my quilt, I don't understand that. I get that it should be squared, but when I folded it up, like say this is my quilt, and when I folded it, my edges matched perfectly. Now isn't that like squared? Like, so when I fold it, it's not like that. You know, it's not off. So I didn't know what that meant, but I'm very, very pleased with the critique I got. Again, the two judges, I won't name their names, but they took the time to look at my quilts, and I suppose every other quilt on that quilt show. How amazing is that? That is wonderful. So I'll keep this, and it's funny. I remember one of the first quilts I entered into the quilt show, into a quilt show, 5 or 6 years ago. I got the same exact critique. My quilting line should be straight and even. I haven't gotten any better on my quilting lines being straight and even. It's fine. It's fine, like Maxwell would say. It's fine. One more thing. I'm filming this on, I don't know what day I'm filming this on, Tuesday, September 24th. Over the weekend, we had the opportunity to go to our son, Jordan, number 3 son Jordan's house, and Heather, for an anniversary, 10-year anniversary party for our number 6 son, Jean-Pierre, and his wife, Caitlin. It was just so nice. Jordan and Heather and the family and everybody worked so very, very hard to have a lovely party for Jean-Pierre and Caitlin. As you know, we're party people. It was interesting because our home, our original family home of almost 30 years, was the party house. And because we have such a large family and a large group of friends, very, very often for every kind of get-together that you could name, it would be at our home, and we were honored to do it. But now we were honored to pass on that torch. There were so many people. Our entire family were there except our oldest son Luke and his wife Amy and the children. They had a previous engagement. They were very sad, but all of our other 9 children and their spouses and our grandchildren were there. Actually, our oldest grandson Zach, who is Luke and Amy's son, he came later. As we were leaving, I took a picture of him. He came from their get together, and he came just about 5 hours late. But it was nice to see Zach. So I'm just going to put a few pictures up. I hope you don't get fed up with looking at our pictures. In fact, I'm going to try to do a thing where I can put 3 in a frame, because I don't want it to go on too long for you to brag about my family. But it's just so nice to be together, and Jean-Pierre and Caitlin. However, after about 2 hours, because I have not been feeling well, and it was pretty much my second time out, I was tired, and it was a lot of people. Our family plus about 20 friends. I was really fed up. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say fed up. But I went into the other room. Jordan and Heather have a lovely home. I went into the family room, and did all the little kids, 3/4 of them are grandchildren, come in. Nana, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I wanted some quiet. Oh my goodness, and I was getting a little bit of a headache, and I thought, okay, it was just so nice, but I don't have the strength and right now, and I don't know if I ever will, to have all these kids. Like I said, I told you before, we're expecting our 20th and 21st grandchild. What have we started? Oh my goodness, they were all true loves. Anyway, folks, I do hope you enjoy the pictures, and thank you very much for coming along with me to the quilt show. I know I made 5 videos of the quilt show, but it was just so delightful. I am working on a quilt right now very, very quickly. It's a very, very simple quilt. And I will show it when it's all done. I just started sewing some squares together for our one grandson, Warren. I think you can see the pillow back here that I made. I had made Warren in his little gender reveal before he was even born, a little quilt. He's now 5 years old, and his pillow, the letters have fallen off, and his quilt is just a little flannel baby quilt. So Jean-Pierre called the other day and he said, do you think you could, I don't want to be pressuring you, Mom, but do you think you could make another quilt a little bit bigger? So I'll show you this later, but he loves construction. He loves construction tools. And I actually got this fabric, this fake fur, really. It's not even a minky. It was on sale from Joann Fabrics for $30 a yard. It was 70% off, like $12, $9 or something like that. And it's just glorious. I don't usually back my quilts with minky or anything, but I saw that it is beautifully soft, if you can tell. But with the flannel front, it was too heavy to put in a batting. It's like a weighted blanket. It's very heavy. So I just used an old flannel sheet that I'm using in the middle. Anyway, but I'll come to that. It's just stars. I just put a star on, little construction equipment, and I made him his little pillow with the letters stitched on. So anyway, I'll show you that when it's all done. Thank you so very much, folks. I do hope you enjoy the pictures. And again, thank you for coming along to the quilt show with me, and Ian and Jen and our friend Tara, VJ and Becky. It was just so nice, and everybody that we saw at the quilt show. That was lovely. All right, folks, have a lovely day, and as usual, love from the Trueloves. Bye-bye.